Right now, at this exact moment, something is watching you. Not a person, not a camera, not God. Something deeper. Something that physics cannot name but cannot deny exists. Let me explain. In quantum mechanics, particles do not exist in a definite state until they are observed. Before observation, they are everywhere at once. After observation, they snap into one position, one reality. This has been proven thousands of times in labs around the world. But here is the question that haunts every physicist alive. If particles only become real when they are measured, and your body is made of 37 trillion of these particles, who is measuring you right now? Who or what is observing you into existence? Because if nothing is watching, according to quantum mechanics, you shouldn't be here. This is the measurement problem. And after 100 years, physics still has no answer. But I have 3 theories, and the last one might be the most terrifying idea you've ever heard. To understand why this question matters, you need to understand one experiment, the most important experiment in the history of physics, the Double-Slit Experiment. Here is how it works. You fire tiny particles, photons or electrons, at a wall that has 2 narrow slits. Behind the wall is a screen that records where the particles land. Now, if particles are just tiny balls, you would expect them to pass through the 2 slits and create 2 lines on the screen. Simple. But that is not what happens. Instead, the particles create an interference pattern, multiple lines, like waves overlapping. This means the particles were behaving like waves. Each particle was passing through both slits at the same time. It was in 2 places at once. But here is where it gets disturbing. The moment scientists placed a detector at the slits to watch which slit the particle went through, the interference pattern disappeared. The particles started behaving like normal little balls again. 2 lines, not a wave pattern. The particle changed its behavior because it was being observed. It knew it was being watched. Let that sink in. A particle smaller than an atom, with no brain, no consciousness, no nervous system, knew when someone was looking at it and changed what it did because of that. This is not a fringe experiment. This has been replicated thousands of times since 1801. It is one of the most well-established facts in all of science. And it raises a question that no physicist has been able to answer for over a century. The double-slit experiment proves one thing beyond all doubt. Observation collapses reality from infinite possibility into a single outcome. Before you look, the particle is everywhere. After you look, it is somewhere. Observation creates reality. But this opens a terrifying door, because if observation is required for reality to exist, then who is the observer? Is it your eyes? No, because your eyes are also made of particles, and those particles also need to be observed to exist. Is it the detector? No, because the detector is also made of atoms, atoms that are in superposition until something observes them. Is it your brain? Your brain is 86 billion neurons. Each neuron is made of molecules. Each molecule is made of atoms. Each atom is in superposition until it is observed.
So your brain cannot be the observer, because your brain itself needs to be observed in order to exist. This is the measurement problem. It is an infinite regress. Observer needs observer, needs observer, needs observer, all the way down. Physicist John Archibald Wheeler, the man who named the black hole, put it this way: no phenomenon is a real phenomenon until it is an observed phenomenon. But he never answered the only question that matters. Who is at the top of the chain? Who is the final observer? Who is looking at all of this, including you, right now? Physics offers 3 possible answers, and I need you to stay with me because each one is more unsettling than the last. Answer 1. Nobody is looking. This is the many worlds interpretation proposed by physicist Hugh Everett III in 1957. It says the wave function never collapses. There is no observer. Instead, every time a quantum event occurs, the universe splits. In one universe, the particle went through the left slit. In another universe, it went through the right. Both outcomes happen. Both are real. And right now, there are infinite versions of you living infinite versions of this moment. In some, you stopped watching this video 30 seconds ago. In others, you never found this channel at all. All of them are happening simultaneously right now. The problem with this answer? It means there are more universes than atoms in existence. And it means you are not one person. You are a cloud of infinite variations, and the you reading this is just one thread in an incomprehensible web. Answer 2. Consciousness is the observer. This is the interpretation favored by physicists Eugene Wigner and John von Neumann, 2 of the greatest minds of the 20th century. They proposed that the wave function does not collapse until it reaches a conscious mind, not a detector, not an eye, not a brain, consciousness itself, the immaterial awareness that exists behind your thoughts, the eye that watches your thinking, the thing you cannot find when you try to look at it directly. This means that consciousness is not a product of the brain. Consciousness is the thing that makes the brain real. It is not inside the universe is inside it. The problem with this answer? If consciousness creates reality, then before there were conscious beings, reality didn't exist. The entire universe, 13.8 billion years of it, existed in superposition, a ghost, a probability, until the first conscious being opened its eyes and collapsed 13.8 billion years of history into existence retroactively. That is not science fiction. That is what the math says. Wheeler called it the participatory anthropic principle, and it means you are not in the universe. You are the reason the universe exists. Answer 3. We are being observed. This is the answer that most physicists are too uncomfortable to discuss publicly. If reality requires observation, and the observer cannot be the particles themselves, or the brain, or any physical instrument, then perhaps the observer is outside the system entirely, something beyond space, beyond time, beyond matter, something that is watching this entire reality from the outside, the way you watch a movie, the way a programmer watches a simulation, the way a dreamer watches a dream. Physicist Nick Bostrom at the University of Oxford formalized this in 2003 with the simulation argument. If any civilization ever develops the computing power to simulate conscious minds, then statistically there are far more simulated minds than real ones, which means the probability that you are real, that you are the original, is almost zero. And the observer, the one collapsing your wave function right now, is whatever's running the simulation, whatever is rendering you into existence, moment by moment, frame by frame. Now zoom out, all the way out, past the Earth, past the solar system, past the Milky Way, past the observable universe, to the edge of everything. If quantum mechanics is correct, and reality only exists when it is observed, then who is observing the universe itself? What conscious being is big enough to collapse the wave function of everything?
Some call it God. Some call it Source. Some call it the universal mind. Wheeler called it the self-observing universe, a cosmos that created consciousness so that it could look at itself, and by looking at itself, bring itself into existence, which means the universe needed you. Not metaphorically, not poetically, literally. It needed your eyes, your awareness, your attention, because without a conscious observer, there is nothing, no space, no time, no matter, just an infinite wave of probability with no one to watch it become real. You are not a tiny person living on a tiny rock in an infinite void. You are the void's way of seeing itself. You are the universe's mirror, and every moment you are conscious, you are holding reality together. But here is the question I cannot stop thinking about. If you are the observer and your observation creates reality, who is observing you right now as you watch this video?